themselves, right? And then
Yeah, definitely.
on the flip side, though, then Cursed Tides are going for Braum, which is solid disengage, I'd definitely say. So that probably makes a lot of sense into this comp, as well as the Olaf for Yuna. So there's an additional damage threat, basically, onto the carries. I think he's going to have quite a hard time, though. Obviously, he can run at the Garen, and the Garen can't really do a lot about that. But when is he ever going to be at Nocturne? I don't know. Ezreal should probably be kiting the Olaf and just should be trying to stay away from him. So I'm interested to see how this Olaf's going to pan out. If I'm honest, I'm not a huge fan of the pick, but... Sorry, just transition.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Sorry. Who has... sorry, I'm just losing the plot here. My mistake. So we're seeing an invade from blue side on Cursed Tides. Yep. And that's what they're going for here. I think it's
not going to be all that much come of it. It is spotted out on that ward.
Yeah. I think, yeah, okay, going back to what I was saying, I think assuming the teams are equal, it's going to all just come down to positioning and execution. Because I think both of these teams have the potential to win over the other. Neither one particularly hard outscales the other, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's my impression.
I do fear for Wibbly a little bit in this early game, though. The ranged into melee matchup could be a little rough for the Rumble. In the first couple of levels, yes, he has got that Doran shield to sustain him through it. We know that item is a little bit broken. But depending on the amount of poke this Ahri is able to put out, it could be...
Yes.
Both junglers, though, going to start on towards their bot side camps, so we could see an early skirmish 2v2 in the top side, potentially for a scuttle, or even in the top lane for a kill. We'll have to see what the junglers decide to do. Both look to be going for a full clear to start things off, and we're just going to have farming in the lane. Do you expect this early game to be quiet? Do you expect things to be, do you expect it to be overly busy? What are we thinking?
Okay, well, we already got some action in the bot lane, so I guess I'll say bot lane's going to be busy.
Stun. Yeah, stun's going to come through. No kill to be threatened, but a lot of poke going down. Beckler with a knock-up. He takes more damage than he really deals, I think.
Yeah, I think they had a really good trade there from Cursed Tides, and then they just stayed a little bit too long as the minion wave was coming in. And so then now, Personal Truck's now chunked out a little bit more than maybe you'd like in this situation. Because if not, you could really have this Braum positioning aggressively, looking for Qs, that kind of thing. But they kind of just traded away their health bar disadvantage.
Even still, I don't think there is really that much threat on Personal Truck. I think he has popped the biscuits, he's back up to about 60% HP. Yes, they have vision on him, but he has to take 3 or 4 Mystic shots in succession for that health bar to drop dangerously low.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And we're just seeing them use the poke from the Ash W, Braum Q and that kind of thing to just zone off their bot lane, get the wave pushed in, and they can probably just recall. Both junglers have cleared towards top side. We can see Ares is going for a reset. Presumably he's going to go for bottom scuttle, maybe try and relieve some pressure off his bot lane. And then go for probably another full clear again. He's playing Nocturne, he probably wants to get lots of clears in to get 6 fast, so he's a champion. We see that Feb isn't opting for the immediate reset after a full clear, and is instead going for the top scuttle. So he will have a slight advantage in camps, but he'll probably need to reset sooner or later before he does anything too major.
Yeah, definitely. We may see some kind of skirmish here, though. Probably going to be spotted out by Ares, so does know the Rumble's in the area. Beckler coming over to support, but the Crab just going to be given over. Double Crab secured for the Jarvan. He's going to slow the Nocturne's early game down a bit. Get into that level 6 a little bit later, as you mentioned.
That's true. But on the flip side, it also means that Feb's effectively... Although he's got 2 camps for it and reset, he's also like slowing down when he's getting this reset of his camps, which then means his next respawn will also be later than Ares' respawn, if that makes sense. So in the long run, Ares might not actually suffer too much from it.
No, but it does always feel nice to get the early 1-up on your direct opposite number in the jungle.
That's true. Okay. So we can see actually Moist One extended quite far up, got hit by the W from the Rakan, but they cleared out the wave and Jane Cromwell seems to have just reset.
Yeah, they managed to find enough poke onto the Ezreal that he can't step up to fight on that knockup.
It's clear that Jane Cromwell feels like they can't reset, but at the same time I kind of feel like maybe he just needs to cut his losses and reset. Ares isn't around to help him out. If Jarvan was pathing here, he would probably almost certainly die to a dive. And with how low he is, he's probably losing CS from not being able to contest properly.
Yeah, and potentially at risk of losing XP as well from not being able to contest properly. Although the amount that is occurring is probably very minimal. More of the arrows going to land. And the equalizer actually thrown down into the mid lane. Flag and drag, not going to find the knockup, is flashed away from Sapana. Doesn't have the Spirit Rush available, so a nice opportunistic play from Cursed Tide's going to net them an advantage in the mid lane.
Yep. I'd assume to see Cursed Tides going for the dragon here soon with how much fire they have in mid and bot. And I don't see Ares being able to relieve this anytime soon until he's hit 6, which should be soon, but even so, it's still going to be difficult. Neither bot lane has reset yet, which means they're both sat on quite a lot of gold. We can have a quick look at that. So yeah, we can see the Moist One is on 1600 gold. So he's already like 250 gold up, something like that, which is already like...
What's that, Moonquiver and Boots, maybe?
Yeah, should be I think. Moonquiver and Boots, probably a reasonable bet.
He's staying.
Yeah.
He wants more.
Meanwhile, Wibbly's just generating a lot of pressure. I think Rumble does have quite an obnoxious laning phase, so it's kind of understandable. Beezum's getting chunked out pretty hard by the Olaf. We can see now he's already down nearly 20 CS, which is quite a significant disadvantage. And Rumble getting another big trade onto Ahri. Ahri again down nearly 20 CS, so really I think they're already falling behind AsstroSmurfs to Cursed Tides at the minute. They're like 1.5k down.
And Teasum's now even enjoying this top lane matchup. Catches an axe on the backside, but we're going to see ults come down through. Teasum's looking to find one, but no, it's Yuna who finds First Blood, the Conqueror, and the Ragnarok proving too strong.
Not quite able to get Yuna into kill range there, especially with the shield coming out from the W from the Olaf, but I think Group can be. And now we see he's actually lost a bunch of that wave that was just shoving into tower where he went for that kill instead, and he's going to TP back to catch most of the rest of it. Roshan's starting to be able to trade back. He's got his lost chapter now, so he's able to sustain his mana, lower cooldowns, all that good stuff. Going into being able to trade.
And with the topside focus coming through from Cursed Tides, it's going to be an early dragon started up and secured for AsstroSmurfs. The Hextech Drake going to be picked up, but a red buff going to be stolen away from Ares.
Yeah, they definitely knew the dragon was going on after they'd all been seen and were just like, yep, we're just going to take away a couple of camps on top side and punish that, and that's probably enough of a trade. Jarvan going on to Ahri here, has the Cataclysm available but isn't using it yet. He's in trouble.
Yeah, Teasum's very much in trouble, but it's going to be Fed that is first to fall. Ares diving forward with the Paranoia, going to be shutting Wibbly, down as well. Double kill for the Nocturne, and that is a massive springboard. Not that he was too far behind. Ares very, very well placed now to take control of this game.
Looks like Fed was a little bit too over-eager there. Went on the Ahri, ended up getting caught by the Garen. And I was surprised to see he used the Cataclysm there rather than just immediately just trying to flash the wall and run away. But yeah, seemed to get caught and just killed. And that's actually really good for AsstroSmurfs because it helps them catch up a little bit in gold. They have the Herald as well, so I don't think they even lost too much for losing his top side, if that makes sense. On
no, definitely not. And the gold is exactly where you want it. Both of those kills going into the back pocket of the Nocturne. Think about it, he is the one who is going to be starting the fights. He is the one with the big go button, yes, sure. Rakan with the quickness as well does have follow-up on that. But when everything's dark, it's much better having Rakan as the secondary engage. So making sure your Nocturne can get in there and have that little bit of extra gold to either blow someone up to start the fight or have a little bit more resistance to not get one shot, really going to be crucial for AsstroSmurfs in these next few mid-game team fights.
I think another important thing to note is how much AsstroSmurfs might be getting bullied, for example, like mid and bot. And top as well, for that matter. They're doing a really great job of, you know, not giving over unnecessary kills, keeping up in XP and that kind of thing. You know, there's some CS down, one plate down bot, but that's nothing major. And now they're going with the go back.
Yeah, we're going to see the Paranoia pop again on to Moist1. He's going to run away with that and cast Crystal Arrow, stunning up Beckler. They're trying to escape both from the Flux Force to flash away, and there comes the Equalizer. Massive slow on to the advances. Fed dives onto the Ari on the top side of the fight. Beckler in full retreat with the rest of AsstroSmurfs. Jaina Proudmore burning, ticking, can't quite fall, is traded 1 for 1. It is AD carry for AD carry as Wibbly strikes back.
Very close from all sides, but it looked like AsstroSmurfs just overreached a little bit, didn't respect the mid lane roam from Wibbly, and then conversely then Cursed Tides then proceed to overextend with the Ashe just stepping up a little too far and not being able to get the saving.
Another turret plate for Yuna in the top lane though.
Yeah, that gold lead is definitely widening. He's 1.2k gold up now. So,
ooh, Vishano gonna get dove on here by Feb. Flag and drag. Cataclysm comes through. Stopwatch, just to delay the inevitable. No, has the flash, but it doesn't matter. Feb, that's all good.
So we're going to see now that Cursed Tides have a 1k gold lead. That can pretty much all be accredited to Yuna. We've got a huge actually gold deficit in the mid jungle, but then you'd kind of expect that, I think, because Jarvan definitely doesn't need quite as many resources, I think, as Nocturne to be functional. Although he definitely functions well with resources as well. The gold is a little bit different, but it's nothing too major either way. You know, I wouldn't say this is over by any means yet.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. More plates going to be mined though by the bot lane of Cursed Tides. Moist1 going to try to stun onto Beckler and Wibbly in the area, lurking for the dive with Feb. The poke is going down and Beckler's just going to die before the dive kicks off. No, Moist1 able to keep himself alive as well as support doing just that. The shield going up. Ares looking for an exit kill, but at the moment it's just going to be Wibbly picking up the wave. And you talked about AsstroSmurfs not giving up these unnecessary kills. I feel like we're starting to see Cursed Tides just flex their muscles a little bit here.
Yeah, I think they're definitely hitting those spikes that little bit earlier. They're making use of it. They're just a little bit stronger. Making really good use to put down pressure, I think, and being proactive with their strength. You can see the charm goes wide, but Swan's still trying to deal damage, but it's not really enough. And gets too close.
He's going to pop the Ragnarok. Oh, Demacian Justice just finding the Olaf before he can finish off the Ari, but the power of that Ragnarok really showed there. Whilst Yuna wasn't able to find the kill, nearly able to turn that 1v2 on its head.
That was, yeah, it was quite terrifying. I think that last Ariel was a little bit of a dangerous step too close to a very angry Viking.
Pick up barrage, bristles through. Not going to do a lot here. Beckler though diving in as the lights are going to get turned off. Comes down to equalizer as the Ashe is deleted. Yuna not in the fight initially and the fight is falling apart. 3 quick kills make that 4 for AsstroSmurfs, and it's just the Olaf 1 versus 5. He's managed to find 3. I don't think he's going to get any more than that though, as Jaina Proudmore going to shut him down, but a triple kill onto Yuna.
Yeah, it's that fight was a little bit close for comfort, I think, for AsstroSmurfs, but it worked out really well. Triple kill to, yeah, 2 carries, 1 for each team. Nocturne is now very, very fed. But conversely, so is the Olaf. Okay, we can see AsstroSmurfs immediately pinging, though, for the Herald second spawn. So they're going to try and make use of that, I guess, hopefully to secure more plates and things like that. I'm trying to think, what did we even see happen with the first Herald? Or did that just time out?
I feel like it was either, well, looking at how low that bot lane tower is, I feel like it was either used in the bot lane or it just timed out.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember seeing it, but it might just be me forgetting as usual.
Yeah, no, I don't actually remember seeing it either, so I don't think it's just you.
Okay. Can see though that they've, while Cursed Ties don't have many people here, and AsstroSmurfs have 4 here, they do have the Equalizer, they do have the Fed Olaf, and they do have Jarvan.
And the arrow is available, can be sent up the river.
Okay, Ari
Fight is going to
caught,
start
knocked
through.
up.
Yes. Yeah, lands onto the Ari. Paranoia is going to be thrown down, and Feb finds the first kill, annihilating the AsstroSmurf mid laner. Season's now caught between 4, going to be stunned up as Ares falls on the top side of the fight. Another one gifted over to the Ashe, and it's another 3 quick kills for the side of Cursed Tides. The Herald wasn't even collected. So the Herald claimed by AsstroSmurfs, but no one able to collect the eye. Jaina trying to do what they can on the bot side, taking away a tower, but answered in the mid lane.
Yeah. I'm not sure what to say there. It just felt like AsstroSmurfs clumped up on the Herald, thought they could get it with their priority and the extra people they had there, and then that clumping just really worked out badly for them because they just got wombo comboed, and
yeah,
it's pretty much as simple as that. I'm not really sure what they could have done, to be honest, other than not go for it.
But in that position where, you know, you have a 4v3, sure, you feel like you have the advantage. Sure, you don't know where the enemy bot lane is. You know they're on the way up. You don't know how close they are. But no, I think that was a case of everyone kind of being stood on top of each other and just getting cooked by the Rumble.
Yeah, didn't even need the Cataclysm either. And
or the Equalizer.
Yeah, that's true.
But far from over. It's only 2,000 gold.
We have less than 2 minutes to the next dragon, about a minute and a half until that spawns. And it will be a Cloud Dragon, so interesting to see. Yuna charmed here, but I don't think they're going to look for anything too major. He's still a scary Olaf with Ghost. I don't think they're going to
There goes that Equalizer. The arrow is going to go wide. Ares diving onto the Rumble. Glacial goes wide as well from post-Nord truck, and no one dies. It is just a whole host of spells thrown back and forth.
I must say that the Braun did a really good job there backing up the Rumble, making sure that he got out safely. Okay, so what that fight does kind of conclude with, though, is where Cursed Tides is still a little bit chunked out and haven't reset yet. Actually, AsstroSmurfs do have priority, and they did just burn a whole bunch of ults when the dragon's up in 40 seconds. I think they will probably be up in time, but the question is, can AsstroSmurfs use that to get a pick and make something happen in time for that dragon?
If AsstroSmurfs can get positioning in the river here, it could potentially be a very, very good angle. As you mentioned, the ultimate's not necessarily going to be available. I think they will have the Equalizer. Going to be very tight on the arrow and the Brawl ult. So positioning here is everything, and it looks like AsstroSmurfs do have that positioning. Ari has been sent off to stop the split push with Olaf. I don't think she can stop the split push. She probably can hold.
Yeah, okay, so we can see Nocturne go straight on the Ezreal.
Yeah, diving straight on top of the Ashe. Kill collected by the Ezreal. Yeah, just that's what happens when you let your AD carry walk around the jungle on your own when the enemy team got first move on the objective.
Yeah, I mean, you just really can't be doing that, especially against a Nocturne. You know, it's just not. You know, Moist Swan was way out of position there. Maybe his team were, but either way, Almost one was the one that ends up getting punished for it. Yuna, on the other hand, is able to trade back 600 gold there for himself, which is really not too bad for him. And they've given away a dragon, a second dragon, and it's not the end of the world. They lost an Ashe. That's alright. But we can see now that
it's not ideal.
Yeah, it's not ideal. Wibbly has TP. We can see the Baron spawning soon, but Feb does look to be backing, so it doesn't look like they're looking for any kind of rush. I was wondering whether they were going to make a play there off of the reset from the dragon for AsstroSmurfs and just go straight for it. But that does not seem to be the case. Ares does once again have the paranoia up, so presumably we're looking for something with that. Wibbly's resetting. See what he's picking up here. We're seeing a few people have 2 items now. Ezreal, Nocturne, Olaf, Jarvan, but the majority of the people still on 1.5 items, and it's about balanced in terms of number of items completed between the 2 teams. So it just sort of
I'm just looking down the items on the topic. I'm just looking down the items, and I'm just looking down, you know, the team comps. Which of these champions on the side of AsstroSmurfs can stop Yuna in the side lane at this point? Because I genuinely don't see anyone that can stand up against this Olaf.
I don't think they can necessarily stand up amazingly, but I think that Garen definitely reaches the point where he can just sort of clear the way with his E.
But look, we might... Okay, we could have seen it there. It's very good restraint there from Yuna, not just to pop Ragnarok Ghost and run the RE down. But, you know, if that tier 1 tower isn't there, I genuinely think Yuna just runs Sapana down, picks up the solo kill, continues to shove the wave, and then his team just take Baron. As we're going to see an arrow land in the mid lane. Cleanse forced out from the Ezreal. So another big cooldown burn.
Yeah, no, I think Garen just becomes sufficiently tanky enough, and with his passive, he just reaches a point. Oh, Rumble looking for a play here. Jarvan following up.
Does throw down the equalizer. And defensive paranoia.
Okay, so they were out there, but they've now used a couple of like reasonably large cooldowns with the True Shot Barrage coming out pretty soon, and the Paranoia, one of their major tools. They've just used that, which now means that in one sense Cursed Tides are not being punished for not getting anything.
Cursed Tides can just flip the Baron here.
Yeah.
Yes, there's vision, but look at Ares. He's on Gromp. He has no paranoia. He has to walk all the way, but by the time he gets here, the Baron's dead.
Yeah, it's
5k and burning. Ares is still nowhere. Teleport's channeled now, but that forces the teleport from Teasons. Of Cursed Tides are out, and Yuna is still in the bot lane, just splitting.
Yeah, they do. They definitely seem to come out on top of that. Forcing out things, and it seems to work out for them. Yeah, I think
it is more than just control. It's very, very well executed from the side of Cursed Tides.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think Garen beats Olaf, but I think he can match him. He can hold the waves, heal up this passive between it. I think that's how they deal with the Olaf. And the other thing is that the further in the Olaf pushes these side lanes, the harder and harder it is for him to actually make progress and actually then be able to have time to push down more objectives. So I think between that and having a Garen that will gradually get tankier, I think it will be perfectly doable for them to match that. I'm a little bit more concerned about the team fight issues that they're having. I don't know. It just feels like a lot of the time AsstroSmurfs aren't pulling the trigger first and then they're losing. I think a lot of this comes down to which team is pulling the trigger first and which team isn't.
Well, I think if you're AsstroSmurfs, you have to pull the trigger first. I think if you're Cursed Tides, you can afford to be the ones to be engaged on and still win the fight, just with the tools you have available. Especially when you are in this kind of a game state where you have the lead.
Perhaps, but I think what we've seen so far is AsstroSmurfs at least did win that fight they engaged around here, where they got the pick onto Moist Swan and the earlier Dragon fight as well. But on the flip side, it feels like they have no chance when they're getting engaged on, and they're seeming to be playing still a little bit passive, if that makes sense. And I think that Cursed Tides are being really proactive, just throwing out their ults, looking for plays, and they're being rewarded for that.
May have caught the Ari here. The Spirit Rush has come through, but he's burning away. Is going to go down. Paranoia diving in on top of the Ash. The equalizes down onto all of the members of AsstroSmurfs. Everyone's burning, and the Ash is still alive. Finds a double kill. Will eventually stays up, but it's a clean 5-0. Everything was pressed on Moist Swan's head, and he comes out of the team fight with a sliver of life left in him.
Okay, that's got to be painful for AsstroSmurfs right there. The fact that, as you say, Ash living on a sliver of health there, 5-0. And yeah, again, they got caught. Cursed Tides threw out their abilities. They tried to counter engage, but I think it was just too little, too late.
But it's 5-0. It's a 5-0 fight. It's Baron. It's mid lane tier 2. It's second Cloud Drake potentially. Yuna is in the area. But actually no, just killing some Morgan. Gonna back off. AsstroSmurfs may actually be able to pick this dragon up with the reset timers coming through from Cursed Tides.
I'm not sure. It seems like they're just going for the farm at the minute though. And at this point I don't think they have time.
Yeah, never mind. They're not. Are they contesting this? They could. I think they could. I don't necessarily think it's a good idea, but I think they could.
Okay, so to clarify by could, you're saying they have the option to walk their champions there and die?
I mean, they're all in the area, and they have teleport on their Ari, so, you know.
They do have the option to do that, I suppose.
Yes, they
True Shot Barrage doesn't catch
did.
the dragon either. They did try and send that, but it wasn't enough. Okay, Ares has his flash coming up. Maybe he'll try and look for some proactive play with that to try and do something, but it seems like Cursed Tides are just sort of starting to death pool, and maybe are a little too far ahead now. They got, you know, what, 8k gold lead. They got 2 dragons, Baron. It's going to be really tough to make anything
when they take the next couple of towers. But objective bounty for AsstroSmurfs. It's a little bit of extra money in the pockets.
I think these guys are too tanky now. Ezreal isn't sufficiently ahead to deal damage. Ari isn't ahead, so she doesn't do any damage either. The only real threat, I think, is Ares, and even then they just use Born and just kite it out.
Yeah, I mean, what we saw in the last team fight, right? They threw everything onto Moist Swan's head. He ran backwards a little bit and just survived.
Yeah. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like Ezreal really suffers when he's not ahead. Like, he just feels very meh.
He doesn't even need to be ahead. If he's even, he can still, you know, if he lands 2 or 3 Mystic shots, if it's even, you're still feeling the pain.
Okay, we can have a look at the gold on the individual bases here. That might be interesting to see and see what's going on. Okay, we got a 7k gold lead in the top lane. Jungle's pretty much even. Mid's, yeah.
It's a flame horizon in the top lane as well, I've just noticed.
Yeah, it's
Oh, arrow. Nicely done.
The vast majority of the gold difference is all in that Olaf. But the rest of them are pretty well even naturally. So it does mean, in theory, if they can find a play without the Olaf, like this maybe.
Like this one right here.
They could actually still potentially win the fight, if that makes sense, in terms of gold spent.
Yeah, effective gold value.
On the other hand, I'm not sure how doable that is now, where the Olaf is sort of staying relatively near enough to where he can still threaten to join the fight. And they likely won't win the fight decisively enough to mean they can still... Yeah, decisively and quickly enough to still mean that they can then turn around on the Olaf when he arrives late.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a foregone conclusion at this point. There is still a chance, you know, maybe AsstroSmurfs are able to find the miracle fight. But at this point, it is looking incredibly Cursed Tides favoured in this game 1. And I think it's kind of at this point, really, you start thinking, oh, well, we'll just start thinking about next game. And what do you... If you're AsstroSmurfs right now, what are you already thinking about changing going into the second game?
Throw a third Baron at mid lane?
Okay. So leave the Customer's one. Oh, the arrow finds the Nocturne in the jungle. He's going to be knocked up, bounced around, and taken down. He tries to taxi away on the Ashe, but that is just his demise. Rakan falls as well as Sapana going to get jumped on. The Equalizer comes down, and it is a traded kill back from Jaina Crabwell, but it's not going to be enough. Too little, too late, as here comes the Viking. Yuna tearing through top side of the AsstroSmurfs base. Is going to die to the tower. Does have a stopwatch, so will keep himself alive. Teasum's doing what he can, defending to the last, but it's not going to be enough. He will fall, Jaina will fall, and so will Nexus.
Okay, that was, yeah, quite a decisive victory.
It was close until it wasn't. That's going jungle, right?
Yeah, it's got to be, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Okay, then we're going to see the
But
Nico
we're going to
mid.
see the Teasum's Urgot.
Okay, Teasum's Urgot is a... I would describe it as legendary. Maybe other people would have different words for it, but Teasum's has performed many times on Urgot. And I think as a pick he's fairly well known for, besides the Alawi. And yeah, I don't know, I think he just often has really good showings on it. I'm not sure how it does into Olaf, but I'm interested to see. You know, they're mentally reset, ready to play and perform this game.
We shall see as we load onto the Rift. Game number 2 of AsstroSmurfs versus Cursed Tides. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, a win here for Cursed Tides would see them advance in the upper bracket, dropping AsstroSmurfs down into the lower bracket. Where in the lower bracket they would sit would then be decided based off of one of the series coming to you from next week between Playback and Stellaron.
So we're not seeing anything particularly flashy from either team at the minute. They're both kind of just setting up. Nico and Oriana finding each other. Nothing too major though. Okay, so we're going to have to see what sides the junglers go for. Ares might try something different, but last game he pathed towards top side. I'd kind of assume he wants to path towards bot side this time, where he has the Zyra Khan there. Wants to make full use of that.
Yeah, definitely a more proactive bot lane in this game.
Yeah, I think that might actually work out a little bit better for them as well, because last time he pathed away from his bot lane, and his bot lane seemed to really suffer for it. And maybe he could have done something if it was the other way around. So I definitely agree with Ares pathing towards bot side here. And again, makes sense for Maokai to path towards top mid. Just standard. I think either way for Feb to path here is completely fine. You know, Ashe Braum also have plenty of setups, so it's not like it's too much of a problem.
We are seeing both junglers, as you mentioned, starting on both on their blue buffs. A big trade going in for Wibbly, gets the electrocute clock down. Significant health advantage generated in the mid lane already.
AsstroSmurfs zoning off the enemy bot lane here a little bit with their level advantage for level 2. I don't believe they know where Maokai started, so I'm not sure. I'm guessing they're assuming he started bot, but they don't know for sure. I know that Nico is very dangerous in like the first few levels of the game, especially. She has a lot of cheese and burst potential, so yeah, it makes sense. Bishan got caught, and he's getting caught again and getting chunked out massively.
Yeah. Yes, lots of damage coming through from that Nico.
We'd like to see a little bit more respect there, but Yuna not respecting Teasum's. Teasum's just coming out, chunking Yuna down, but the question is it all a bait? Is he just planning for Feb to come and gank and equalise the lane again? And if not, put the Olaf in advantage. Feb's nearly finished his clear and is on his way there.
And talking about finishing the clears, Ares also very, very close to finishing that clear, so it wouldn't be surprising to see AsstroSmurfs allow that wave to come in towards their tower a little bit, potentially opening up for a play for the Jarvan.
Yeah, I mean, the wave is nicely coming in, but they just need to thin it out a little bit, I think, to just prevent it from being too much of a stacked wave. when the play goes down. The other trouble is there's a ward in river, so not sure what they're doing there. Ares is a bit conflicted, wanted to go for lane gank, but they're going to spot him now, regardless. And so he's going to just secure the bottom scuttle. Meanwhile, top scuttle secured by Maokai.
Yeah, and relatively uneventful, relatively quiet, relatively calm is the name of the game so far in this game 2. Cursed Tides under no pressure to get things rolling early, and AsstroSmurfs not wanting to overforce, not wanting to make the early mistakes. We are going to see an engage here from Beckler. Dives forward, tries to bait something out, but eats a stun, trades off his health bar, and now Jaina going to be under threat. Ares still lurking as the Cursed Tides bot lane back away, flirting with the thought of a fight here, dancing on the edge, but not going to engage too far to put themselves at risk.
They've got to be really, really careful now, though, because Jarvan's back, because he needs to go back to top lane to keep clearing efficiently. Meanwhile, Maokai starting bot side. They have a wave pushing in. If I was Fev, I'd be here. I'd want to be here right now, looking for this gank, because
there is very good vision in that bot side river, though, as we are going to see Personal Truck chunked down massively. Moist1 dealing pretty effective damage back, and it's a relatively even trade.
Yeah. It's just that this AsstroSmurfs bot lane wants to get this wave on the tower, presumably, to reset. But, especially since their jungler's reset now, but because their jungler backed off, it's now a little bit scary for them too. Okay. Another trade going, but Bisham manages to dodge everything, so he actually ends up trading positively the other way.
Yeah, very, very positive trade for the Orianna, but the Nico does tick over to that level 6 mark first, so got to be very careful of the Pot Blossom.
Orianna definitely does have the benefit of that matchup of where most of her skills aren't really that dodgeable, so it's much easier for her to have consistent trades, whereas Nico is very reliant on hitting that binding to make a consistent high damage trade.
Yeah, I'd probably agree, but we are going to see a bit of a roam coming through from the Nico. The river is pretty dark, roaming with the Maokai, clearing some vision, no, as we're going to see Feb step up here. Feb might be caught out between a rock and a hard play. Shockwave going to come through as the Pot Blossom is traded back in response. Ares blown up by the AP mid-jungle duo in first block of that.
Nice trade from the Zyra Khan there. A little bit of anti-synergy as well, where the Shockwave actually meant that the Flag and Drag missed onto Feb. So, obviously I don't think it made much of a difference at that point, but it did obviously lower their damage. Okay, a nice knockup from the Rakan, and they're taking a trade.
The Ashe massively chunked.
Yep, but Maokai's around, stay off the way there, don't want to deal with it. So it looks like Cursed Tides bot lane just going to back off, and AsstroSmurfs are going to stay to try and push this wave in, and then get a better reset themselves.
But even though that play in the bot lane there doesn't end up netting them anything in terms of a kill or otherwise, it is a stark change from what we saw in that first game, where the Cursed Tides bot lane could kind of just do whatever they wanted to an extent. They were just walking all over AsstroSmurfs, but now AsstroSmurfs have given themselves the tools to fight back, and my word, do they look a whole lot stronger picking up this first dragon.
Yeah. It's just going a lot more evenly. They're not particularly pulling away hugely, but you know, they're not behind on CS particularly in top lane. They're going to fall behind a little bit here, but it's nothing too major. You know, I think it's doing a lot. The game looks in a lot better state than it did last game, that's for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, where Cursed Tides, after their reset, didn't immediately path to check that dragon, and Feb was just clearing the Gromp, it just meant that even though the enemy bot lane really wanted to back, you know, reset and come back and not miss anything, they were able to go and help with the dragon, and they still weren't really punished for it, despite being low on mana and that kind of thing. And they're just picking up this wave, nothing too stressful.
Indeed, a little bit of trading back and forth from the two effectively ranged champions in the top lane, you're not able to throw those axes so frequently. Got nothing too much of a note going through. As the Ragnarok actually going to be popped here, diving on to Teasums. The chain comes through, but it's not going to be enough. And Teasums just taken out, not respecting the chase and cut down potential from that Olaf.
He stepped up just a little too far and got punished for it appropriately. It's good for you up there to spot that, you know, that the other was up too far. Okay. Absolutely huge trade coming out for Wibbly, just using all of his burst, and then Khan's entrance coming in.
Yeah, diving forward onto the bot lane, but that shockwave though, in the mid lane from Sapana, really crucial to keep himself alive there.
Yeah, I think he did a really good job there, just dodging out, making sure he stayed alive.
Mm.
Okay. Cool. So we're seeing another engage, but it completely goes wide from the Rakan. Zyle forced out.
Yeah, jumps onto the Ashe, locking her in the cage. Gonna be a pair of kills for AsstroSmurfs in the bot lane. Ares takes one, Jaina takes the other.
Yep.
Nicely executed gank, roaring forward, Curse Tides to the point of no return.
Bishan trading here, which I think he likes the look of, but the problem is he's now getting low, which means he's now diveable for the Maokai potentially. He'll be very careful here. Yep.
Yeah, the
Dive
root's
goes through.
gonna connect, and Maokai gonna be the beneficiary.
Yep. Wibbly there just trading to get him low. Doesn't really matter how low the Nico gets because the Maokai's just there to really dive. At least Ares is here to pick up the wave, so it's not too bad.
This sustained pressure in the mid lane is really starting to reflect in the CS as well. 25 is the lead currently for Wibbly. A massive wave there. Lost for the Orianna.
Yep. Ooh, okay. Well, so everything's played for. Dragons in 1 minute 30, so plenty of time on that. First Herald is still up. No one's really gone for it yet. It's interesting to see. So, bot lane picking up the plate as well, which is always nice. They're down a couple. Well, no, they're down one plate now. So, just starting to equalise it, so that's always good.
On the Herald, I mean, this game has been so heavily mid-bot focused by both of these junglers. It's not a massive surprise that neither team has looked towards the objective.
I do agree. I think it would be really good for AsstroSmurfs here if they can find a window to pick up this next dragon. Because that next dragon then just starts putting pressure on Curse Ties to, yeah, okay, you've got to start doing things. And the entrance comes in.
Who's going to land though? From Desire. Both pushing out in response. Ares in the area. If they go too far forward for this, it could spell doom. Once again, we're going to have everyone jumping onto the Ashe while Zaya finishes off the Braum. And it's another 2 quick kills for the AsstroSmurfs.
And that's actually really good timing for them. They should secure this dragon. Although Ares is currently working on getting caught out by the Nico, but manages to escape the flag and drag. So nothing too major. I'd want AsstroSmurfs to be just collapsing on this dragon though and just burning it down. It doesn't matter if the Nico and the Maokai die, surely. You just take it as 4. That lead, I think, would be really valuable to them to put pressure and force Curse Tights to keep forcing plays and getting things done. Because otherwise they're threatening to just stack up and get that soul. But no, they're opting for the reset. Just spend their gold, come back to lane. You can see that Zaya has already got her Kraken Slayer and a BF sword on top of that. Against the Ashe, who doesn't even have first item yet. So
yeah,
that
incredibly strong.
So AsstroSmurfs are now looking for the dragon, but it's going to probably be too little, too late. I think this is probably going to be finished.
I think they got time for this. They got 4 people.
I think it's going to be finished before they get there.
Yeah, Curse Tide's going to pick this one out.
And So that means
More freedom.
okay. Re-engage coming out from Rakan. Very nice.
Yeah, gonna land on to 2, finds the charm, finds the knockup, but Feb finds the first kill. It's gonna be 2 quickly answered in response with a shutdown over to the Xayah. The Xayah, who already is starting to snowball ahead in this game, getting more and more gold.
Yep. Looking really good. We can have a little look at the gold difference actually for that. You can see, yeah, we got
What's
like
that,
a
1500
1500 gold lead in the bot lane. Conversely, a 1.2k gold lead in the mid lane for Cursed Tides, and what, 700 gold lead in top lane for Cursed Tides, but then a 500 gold lead for Ares in the jungle. So yeah, it seems quite a bit closer. There's starting to get some good disparities for AsstroSmurfs, which is always nice, and it's on players that definitely have the potential to carry, which is really nice to see.
Will be interesting. Can AsstroSmurfs keep the Xayah alive then? Is the Olaf going to be able to find Jaina Proudmoore in these fights?
I mean, it's always going to be very positioning dependent, but the other thing about this Olaf is he doesn't have flash. So worst comes to worst, Ares should be able to use the Cataclysm to protect Jaina. And the Olaf has no way out. And yeah, Ares might die, but this Xayah should be strong enough to kill an Olaf that's sat there still and not able to get on him. I think that's definitely doable. But Sapana getting poked out again.
Yeah, another big trade. Those trades seem to mean a little bit less once you've got some levels and some items behind you, although Feb waiting in the wings are 3 people in support for AsstroSmurfs, so if they're able to find this kill quickly and get away, it could be good. Otherwise, the Herald could come under fire. Arrow's going to land onto the Orianna, followed up by the root. Isn't going to be finished off. Xayah actually under threat. Jaina Proudmoore running forward, looking for Feb, looking for Wibbly, throwing those feathers freely. Now finds the root. Featherstorm thrown down, and it's just going to be a disengage. No one going to fall. Ares now the focus on the side, but will just flag and drag himself to safety. And after all of that, we've still got 10 champions alive.
Yeah, still all good. AsstroSmurfs maintaining like a 1.7k gold lead, 1.8k gold lead at the moment, so that's really good for them. They've got to be a little bit careful here because Jaina has no ult, but still able to get out. Okay, good, really nice blade caller. Almost kills Wibbly against. Boom, steals the shutdown. Oh, that is terrible. That is terrible for them to have personal trucks stealing that shutdown. Just lost 600 gold, but yeah. Xayah and Rakan were very aggressively positioned, considering that Jaina had no ult there at all. And not much backup either.
And Cursed Tides knew there was no ultimate available for the Xayah, and they capitalized on it perfectly.
And they're going to transition that straight into a Rift Herald, which is really good. 1 minute 20 to Dragon. And so now it's still even on Dragon, so we'll just see who goes for it.
They could just run mid now, drop the Herald. I mean, they've given the Herald to Yuna, so they can't do that. But they could have just run mid with the Herald here and knocked over this mid tier 1.
I don't know, because I'm not sure how much value there is in it, because it's not like plates are there, and
yeah, I guess.
And I think on top of that, it's still 1 minute to Dragon. All of AsstroSmurfs are coming back out of base, so it's not like they're not going to be there to respond fairly quickly. So I don't think they're going to get a double push really on it. And so then at that point, I'd rather save it for Yuna to use maybe when the Dragon's spawning to generate threat on the side.
That is true. There is teleport advantage in that top lane as well for Yuna over Teasums. And we saw what happened with this Olaf in the first game. He did get very far out of control very, very quickly. And it's looking like the same may be on the verge, especially as he has been gifted a Rift Herald with 18 seconds to this dragon. They're sending Sapana up to the top lane to deal with the Olaf, but no, actually they're not.
Okay. Maybe they're going to just commit to this dragon, commit to the fight, and Oh,
Well, Feb's going to find the engage onto Ares, ticking away with the Demonic Embrace. Knockup goes wide, but the Cataclysm finds two. The Nature's Grasp is going to go down, root everyone up. The knockup comes through, and Beckler somehow ends up in the background. Not too sure how that one's happened. Shockwave doesn't find anyone. Full whiff coming through, but it doesn't matter. AsstroSmurfs going to find the fight here beyond death. Pulls back Wiggly. Nom nom for the Urgot. And Personal Truck the only survivor.
I must say, I think I really like that decision from them. Say, you know what? Screw the Olaf, screw the split push. We're going to just commit. We're going to win the fight. We're going to get the dragon, and then we'll worry about the Olaf later. Obviously, it's not ideal. He's getting quite a lot of work done here, but
I mean, that's 3 charges. I think that's 3 charges.
Yeah, maybe they could have sent some people back earlier. I'm not sure how that would have worked though, because it was quite a. I don't know whether they had the opportunity to, but I can respect the decision. You know, it was a nice proactive decision. They went for it. Came out well for them.
Ares. No, he just flack and drag out.
But
that was actually quite close on the timing. They left Ares to solo the dragon, and as you've just seen there, Feb and Personal Truck entering the river just as the dragon dies. So nearly an oversight there from the AsstroSmurfs, and they're gonna potentially lose mid lane out of it. No, not quite.
On the flip side though, it also means that they're maxing their time, able to be back out on the map faster. Also means that, you know, they're able to pick up more resources while the enemy team's dead, that kind of thing. So yeah, it works out really well for them. Someone's going to need to answer this Olaf though. As much as, you know, they want to go for the aggressive plays, you can't completely ignore him. And it looks like that's going to be Sapana. I'm not sure that's who I'd be sending if I'm honest, because I think if the Olaf just dives with ult and ghost, I don't know how Sapana ever starts.
Ooh, we're going to see a pop blossom come through here onto the bot lane of AsstroSmurfs, and once again they're going to fall foul. Featherstorm was available. Jaina Proudmoore just survives. Sapana blocks the final skill shot that may have spelled doom.
That TP comes through though from Sapana, which now means that the bot lane is now vulnerable again. So that really good play from Wiggly there, disguising as mini going in, ulting, that worked out really, really well for them.
Now, the observation that I am building here after this first game and a half, as we're going to see Sapana dove once again, is that I feel like I'm actually watching Odyssey, not Cursed Tides.
Okay, do you care to elaborate on that one?
It feels like we have Rack in the top lane, who is just split pushing all day, every day, and letting his team play 4v4 or 4v5.
Yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from with that now. Yeah, I do see what you mean.
Not that it's a bad thing, you know, it's a very, very much legitimate strategy. No issues with it at all. It's just very, very interesting that Cursed Tides have adopted this strategy, which I don't think we've really seen from them so far.
I think maybe they decided that that kind of works quite well in into a team like AsstroSmurfs, where they've got they've got a couple of like really strong players, but they tend to be more like team fight players rather than like wanting to side lane. So maybe they've decided this is the strategy that works best against AsstroSmurfs. I'm not sure, but so far they seem to be correct.
Yeah, I mean, it's proving incredibly fruitful. Wibbly is incredibly strong. Highest CS in the lobby. Has got 2, maybe it might even be more, probably more than 2 full towers worth of gold in his back pocket. So going to be very, very strong on the Olaf 10.
Yeah, 2K
1500 gold. 1500 gold ahead, Yuna, to the next highest player in the lobby.
Yeah, we can see that actually if you look at the gold lead, it's now 2k to Cursed Tides, where it's 1.7k, 1.8k to AsstroSmurfs before. So they've completely reversed the gold lead now.
And another Pop Blossom going to spell the end for Beckler, and potentially Jay never know. Ares coming in at the last moment, absolutely clutching his team alive as Jaina should have lived. Just the shield comes through. It's 2 for 1 on the play. Feb and Wiggly gonna fall in what looked to be a very good engagement.
Yeah, that looks really proactive from them, but yeah, they used their tools really, really well to disengage that, keep Jane alive, as you said. And yeah, actually worked out net positive probably for them, other than obviously Olaf's still straight scaling and getting stronger. Okay, Sapana may be in danger here, the Olaf's around.
Ooh, you feel if that axe connects, that would have been curtains.
Yeah. I think you're right, although he did have the flash, so he probably gets out. So we've got 40 seconds now on the dragon spawn, so Braum's going to need to reset here, get back. But we maybe will see them off of the fact that Braum's chunked and recalling late. Maybe we'll see AsstroSmurfs go in and get vision now, which it looks like they are doing.
Indeed.
And
now,
so,
all teleports are up for this fight. All ultimates should be up for this fight, with the exception of the Featherstorm. And the majority of summoners are going to be up there. It's not going to matter. Yuna is caught on the side lane, charmed up, knocked up, shut down. And when that is a quarter of your team's gold being taken off the board 5 seconds before a fight, you don't want to take that fight.
Yuna now has a full item lead on Teasums, but I mean it doesn't matter when he's off the board, as you said. And then now it's Soul Point for Chemtech Soul. Always good. And they're looking for more now. Going in for the engage. Finding press prisoners 2 people. Can't grand entrance going wide, but they're still going, chasing in. Urgot's there. Wibbly with a huge ult. Arrow goes in, knocks up.
It's not going to come through into the shockwaves, huge. Tearing apart the health bars of Cursed Tides. And why did they decide to contest this dragon?
Yeah.
It was not necessary. They did not need to take the fight.
I think, but to be fair, I don't think they intended to. I think they were just sort of poking around, looking what was going on, and poked around, poked their nose in a little too far, got caught by Ares, and that was about it. It looked like they almost turned it around there with Moist Swan and Wibbly, but it wasn't really enough to do it. And Jaina Palm was stepping up very aggressively there to get the kill onto the Ashe, and it works out.
Oh, and we're going to see Yuna diving forward, diving straight onto Sapana. Can he find one? At least no. Going to be shut down by Teasums. But with that fight in the jungle, why are you even poking around? You've lost your fed top laner.
You're right,
You're not going to win the fight. Try and catch waves, take jungle camps, do something somewhere else to scale up for the next fight. Don't need to be.
You're right. And what you've noticed is when Yuna got caught earlier, he didn't use anything, didn't use ult, didn't use sun, saved everything. There he, after the dragon play, he burnt TP, burnt everything there to look for a kill or a play on the tower, got nothing from it, and instead ended up opening up an opportunity for AsstroSmurfs to get that Baron.
Yeah, and now AsstroSmurfs, decked out in purple, poses all kinds of problems for Cursed Tides.
Yeah. It is getting harder and harder, I think, for Yuna to make the impact of the Olaf be felt. AsstroSmurfs. It's going to be interesting to see where this game goes from here. Because on paper, gold-wise, not a huge split, but they've got the bonus stats from the Dragons now, they've got the Baron buff. They still do have a 3.5k gold lead. Sorry, 2.5k, by mistake. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think now we're sort of at the point where so much of their gold is on that Olaf that it just means that if the Olaf isn't there in the fight, then you will just lose the 4v4, even if someone's matching. And I think that's kind of terrifying for them, because I also don't think the Olaf really has the tools, as we've seen, to, in a straight fight, do a lot.
However, like you say, with fighting without the Olaf, you're losing the majority of your gold. This was exactly the same scenario that Cursed Tides had in the first game. We're going to see the nature draft come through. Stun's going to land on to the Xayah. Cleanse and Featherstorm forced out as he's going to come with Pop Blossom big on to the Jarvan. Stunning up that front line, but Ares diving forward, finds the capitalism on to post-Nord truck. Fight is now incredibly split. They're fighting away as Seasons to find the first kill of the fight. Yuna going to fall. Post-Nord truck now trying to get away, but he will not be able to, claimed by the Urgot. And the 5-man squad of AsstroSmurfs wearing this Baron buff advance on the Cursed Tides base.
Really good there from Jenna Proudmore with the cleanse and the ult immediately to just run away. It's a little bit delayed, but it was fast enough. Got him to safety, and then was able to be backed up by his team. The Jarvan and the Rakan diving in and doing so much work, I think, CCing and delaying. And that then meant that it was just Feb left on Jaina. And Xayah had more than enough damage to kill the kill the Maokai once the CC ran out. So that worked out really, really well for AsstroSmurfs, despite it being Cursed Tide's initiating play. So Soul is coming up in 50 seconds, and it feels like AsstroSmurfs have all the momentum. Pretty much a 4k gold lead. You know, they're all up. They've got lots of items completed now, and all of their ultimates coming off cooldown. So, but I'm trying to look if there's any major summoners that are down. Teasem's no flash. Jaina no cleanse. That's the big thing, probably. That's probably the one biggest spell that we're missing.
But if you look at the way that everyone is moving out on the minimap, I don't think Cursed Tides want to contest this. Look at where Yuna is up in that top lane.
Yeah, I think they're just sacking this. Maybe they're just going to say, okay, we're just going to flip the Elder. They're just praying for the Elder.
Yeah. Yep.
AsstroSmurfs being proactive once again, catching out Feb and Post-Nord Truck. And yeah, that's kind of rough. If you're giving that dragon, you do not want to be caught, and it's just like last time. He's himself kind of caught by the Olaf.
Yeah, here goes the Olaf. This CC immunity going to just not go away. Can't fall under the tower though. Does not want to be executed by that Fear Beyond Death, especially with the Child Shot Jackshot. But now Yuna has taken the tower. Can't take Teasem's out, as he does have his Orianna in support.
The Urgot there just kind of tanky enough to, while he doesn't really win the fight, sort of shrug him off for long enough and be a big enough pain that it just means that Olaf doesn't really get to do everything that he wants. Still gets the tower obviously, but I think we're kind of looking for a little more from you know, at this point in terms of what Cursed Tides need to turn this game around. And again, with Soul secured after that whole play in the bot lane where they were just getting caught out when they shouldn't, I'm not sure what they're going to do. We got Baron up in 1.5 minutes, Elder in 5. So it's time to see what they do. I feel like AsstroSmurfs need to win some kind of big objective and have the waves in the right place to be able to get some pushing done, because I don't know how easy they're going to find it to directly start pushing.
Especially with the Maokai saplings, as you just see there, hidden around the jungle in these rotations, will start to chip away slightly. It's not going to leave too much lasting damage, but the occasional slow and just the information that can be gained will be very, very valuable to Cursed Tides. Feb, Wibbly, and Yuna looking to set up a trap.
Teasem's teleport isn't quite up. It will be up momentarily, but he's actually one now on the side, pushing in the wave, which forces Yuna to go and respond to it. That's always good, I think.
Yuna does have the teleport, though.
Yeah, 38 seconds now on this Baron spawn, and we're going to just have to see how it goes.
Yeah. But we did see in that previous exchange that Yuna very much has the damage, very much has the sustain to take on this Urgot in the 1v1. So Teasem's, whilst yes, he can shove the waves, he is not a direct answer to Yuna on this Olaf.
Okay. They're both just posturing for the Baron. They're sending Urgot to the silence, who's not going to be here immediately at the start of the fight unless he TP's now. Ares
Jump slightly. Gonna dive forward with that cataclysm flash out from Lord coming from the line. The base figure is immense. Shockwave not really gonna find anyone. It's a massive pop blossom on the 2 in the backside. The Xayah is down, but it's just Moist Swan left alive. The Ashe 1 versus 3. What can she get done? Firing volley after volley, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. Ares in range with the slows. The Fear Beyond Death will land, and Teasem's pulls her in for the ace.
Yeah, incredible damage coming out there from the Orianna and the Xayah before Jaina died there. Just able to absolutely shred the enemy team. It looked like almost Cursed Tides were going to win that fight again, and then all of a sudden Shockwave comes through. I'm guessing it was a Blade Caller. I didn't quite catch it, but absolutely huge damage coming through and sort of turning around how that fight looked completely. It was a little bit of a fumbled engage from the start, but ended up working out with them nonetheless, and Teasums was able to come through with the TP. That was really good. They're going to secure this Baron, and this puts them in, I think, a relatively good position for the Baron, for the Dragon. Remind me, how long does Baron last exactly? Is it 2.5 minutes? Or 3.5?
I believe Baron is 3 minutes.
Okay. Okay, if it's
So
3 minutes,
will
then
be
it'll be up.
active for Elder.
Yeah, okay. So they can hopefully just use this for more pressure. I'm not quite sure what Cursed Tides are going to want to do here now, though, because they're getting these fights that are looking really good and looking really promising for them, and then they just don't quite have enough to just finish off that fight. They've tried as 5, they've tried having Yuna splits, so I'm not quite sure where they're going to go from here.
I think they have to keep playing for the split.
Yeah, I kind of feel so too, but I also think that one of the nice things is that the peel for Xayah and Rakan is basically just the two of them in terms of they're almost self-sufficient in their peel. So you know, even if you send one extra person like Ares, or you send Orianna down to go and help Urgot deal with the Olaf, that's perfectly doable in terms of the Xayah and Rakan and whoever's left to still keep up the pressure.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see something crazy from Woodley. Maybe he'll get a crazy disguise off and be able to get another big ult. Maybe that's their way back into this with Nico play. The stun can be huge if it lands.
Potentially.
Xayah does have.
But it's not just about the
up.
stun landing. It's also about the stun landing on the right targets. And the Orianna and the Xayah are definitely the two targets that you want. But with the stopwatch and the Featherstorm, can you find those two targets?
Yeah. You see, Teasum's now applying pressure bot lane. They're still getting something, even if it's no inhib just yet. 30 seconds now on the soul spawning. They have some vision set up here towards mid lane. It's a little bit dark on the blue side, but Teasum's helping ward that up now with Beckler sweeping through. So they should have all the prep that they really need to do this. There's not really any more waves they can get before it spawns. I kind of expect them to use these plants. Yep, okay, and they're kind of just waiting for them now, ready to take an engage.
I don't know. I don't think Cursed Tides have any business being here. I really don't think there's anything to do. AsstroSmurfs, all of the vision, all of the positioning, all of the information. There should be no way that Fed gets even close to this pit to look for a potential steal.
I think they have to send something though.
But they're
You're not going to win against the Elder.
No, respect them trying to flip it. They're not going to win against the Elder. Teasums does the arrow. As here comes Nature's Wrath. One, almost immediately taking out the most one. And Post-War Truck going to fall straight away. Sapana does go down. But it's not going to be either. Plus Yuna left in the middle of 4. And it's just Ridley to go to the Dragon. Fed to the Elder God. And just like that, we're back on level 10.
The Wombo combo was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting there from the Shockwave Cataclysm combo there. Yeah, they just did so much damage. And even though Wibbly got on Xayah, as you said earlier, she has the Featherstorm, which is Cleanse, didn't even need the Flash, just gets to live. And no worries.
It does not matter if you can get onto the carries if you can't take them down. And what a performance from the side of AsstroSmurfs, leveling the series up 1-1.
Presumably. And then Volley
Into Teasum's Volley Bear.
Okay, that's an interesting matchup. I don't know how that goes. But I think... Okay, Yuna's going to be a lot weaker early game. Potentially Teasums could even punish this if he plays it well, which I think is a departure from the Olaf games where he's been strong early, falling off. So now Yuna's looking for something where he can have a little bit more impact later on, I think.
A massive amount of hope for the side of AsstroSmurfs.
Yeah.
But here we go, game number 3. The winner takes it all, and the loser will quickly fall down to the lower bracket.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Somehow managed to unbind this U button to hide the timeline controls. Don't know how I've managed that one, but oh well. Okay, there
30
we go.
seconds until minions spawn.
Hopefully that's alright for the viewing. Okay, so we're just seeing 5 pointing from both teams.
Yeah.
Nothing particularly fancy. Lots of fun in the all chat. Scene. Yeah, I think you're right. First 15 minutes is going to be pivotal.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like if the game is even after 15 mil, like, Cursed Tides should start to just eke out an
Minions have
advantage.
spawned.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think that though AsstroSmurfs at least have, it feels like more tools to make something happen early game to not be in that state.
Sure. And they've also got more tools in this game looking at their draft to counter plays. You know, like they've got the Galio ult to come in. Kane can dip into that untargetable state. Volibear can...
You can just do this. Sorry, don't know if you cut out there. Wasn't sure. Yeah, no. I think that the one thing that does worry me a bit is that they're all melee other than Ezreal into Rumble and Gwen, which is a little bit spooky.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to have to be, it's going to be sitting in the equalizer, potentially slow and not able to do a lot.
Yeah, sitting in the equalizer, getting poked by all the needles. Could be a bit rough.
Yeah. Interesting note in the chat is that February 14th has always beaten Sapana in best of threes in UNL.
Really?
He is. Yeah.
Oh,
February
I love
14th
that.
has never lost a best of three to Sapana, so Sapana's a lot on the line here. You know, maybe he'll be able to
Bragging
claim
rights, yeah.
some bragging rights and some honor.
I love that stat.
Yeah. Okay. ETism's being quite aggressive here. Not CSing quite perfectly, but hopefully putting enough pressure on Yuna to not fall too far behind. Volibear going in immediately, walking, looking for the blue buff, but Rumble's moving already to see if he can catch what's going on here. Rumble moving to cover is very good, you know, prevents Vi from having too much pressure on her. But it does mean that this gives Sapana now a chance to push in the mid wave, maybe get a reset or something, depending on what he wants to do. He might have enough gold for... Yeah, he's 900 gold, so he could look for something like a null magic mantle if he wanted. And something else like boots.
Our Magic Mantle really could go a long way in this one as well. For the laning phase specifically, because, you know, as we mentioned, a lot of melee champions on the side of AsstroSmurfs, and if you are running into a Flame Spitter, as we see here, Sapana just getting chunked by the Rumble.
Yeah. It was... To be fair though, the trade went fairly even from the minion wave and things like that as well, and I'm assuming Sapana will use abilities. So both junglers clear towards opposite sides this game, and they're both sort of meeting around mid here, having done Scuttle, looking for a play, and we're about to see the Vi closing in, but the Kane is here as well to back up.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we're going to see the 2v2 actually in the mid lane. Ares with that slash coming through from the side, going to slow up and get away to safety. And now when engaging the bot lane, Potion Truck diving forward onto Jaina Proudmore, and we're seeing fighting in the top lane as well. There is action absolutely everywhere.
Yep. Okay, he's looking. Got the stun, got the shield.
Yeah, the mist comes through.
Okay.
And he is going to find First Blood, chomping down onto the ground.
It's really, really, really good for AsstroSmurfs here. We need to get the Volibear rolling. It worked out quite well as well, where Volibear pushed in the early wave, which meant that the game... Oh. Apparently, Tizum's W key fell off his keyboard. I guess he bit the Gwen a little too hard.
Love that.
But yeah, so... yeah, that works out really, really well for AsstroSmurfs though. I guess it worked out really nicely because from Volibear pushing in the first wave so hard, or the first couple waves, and that by the time Vi cleared towards top side and Volibear got an award, he then knew Vi was top side. Also from that, it meant that the wave was then bouncing back into him. So then Yuna was pushing, and then that means that he slowly, which then meant that he had time to just chill, didn't have to walk up in the lane, so didn't get punished by the buy. And then it meant also he had the chance to return kill onto Yuna when Yuna was walked up. It worked out really, really well overall, like from the wave management. Whether it was coincidental or not, I have no idea, but it appears to have gone well. Game is just frozen. I'm assuming that's a riot.
It always does, yeah. Yeah, give it. It always does after a pause. Just bear with it. You don't need to mess with it. Just give it a couple of minutes and it'll sort itself out.
Okay, there we go. Seems to be sorted either way. Okay. So we're seeing CS pretty even mid lane, pretty even top lane. Pain and Vi, one camp difference at the minute. But nothing too major. Bot lane again, pretty even. So
it's really only that first blood gold.
Yeah. One thing to note, Teasm still has flash. He didn't have to burn that, whereas Yuna's burned both summoners. So it's possible that he can still look for something here, especially where Yuna's not yet 6. Presumably he will be hitting 6 momentarily, probably on this next wave. So it's probably not too much window. Yeah, he's hit the 6 now, so there's nothing really to do. Both ADCs here, a little bit low on mana. Ashe probably functions a bit better on low mana. We can see Wibbly has level 6. He is looking to make a play probably with that equalizer now and shove. But we can see now Sapana also cleared out the wave, moving down just in case there's a play happening. And he's getting a wall. Okay. And they can just keep clone waves out, these two, and do nothing.
Sapana here really can negate a lot of what Wibbly wants to try and do on the roam with the range of that heroic entrance. Does not have to move all that far from the mid lane to be able to find those angles to counteract the Cursed Tide's playmaking.
It looks like AsstroSmurfs are wanting to get the push in, but here Rakan's left the Ezreal. The Ezreal's on his own.
Yeah, Wibbly is in the area.
Yeah, this is a bit scary.
They do have Wibbly on full vision though.
Yeah, that is true.
We're going to see an engage in the mid lane. Fed dives backwards, just enough.
And now, it's still not quite got that wave in. It's still sort of being frozen. But Strainer found one in a little bit of an awkward spot. Oliver and Gallia looking for a play on the Gwen, don't quite get it. Gwen just hops over the wall and walks away. Not a problem.
If there was a champion to be stepping up though to try and clear out some of these waves at a bit of a risky distance, it would be Ezreal. You have got the range of the Mystic Shot, the Arcane Shift as well to carry you upwards. He's doing a really good job here denying some CF, but no, the cannon going to be claimed for Yuna, but how much of his health bar is he going to have to trade? The mist goes down, and now we see the needlework coming through, and Teasm's very, very low. Probably going to be forced into a base here.
I think he could have fought that if he committed with his ult and W. Also, W heals him. Yeah. Okay. Grand entrance goes wide, dash forward, but the taunt comes down with personal truck. Oh, coming out from the right.
So tanky. He just lives through everything. Here comes the hero's entrance. The Nautilus will go down, but it's traded back on to the Ezreal. No further deaths are going to come through. And in the 3v3, it goes pretty evenly. Ares now, though, engaging onto Wibbly. The equalizer going to come through, burning away. It's Wibbly in a 3 versus 1. Can he find any kills? No. Oh, yes, wait, yes, he can. I thought that was the Umbral Trespass finishing him off, but no. It is a 1-for-1.
Okay, lots of trades going on across the map.
Yeah.
That's always good for, I think, Ares to make progress there, but on the other hand, Rumble also getting a kill, not amazing. Savannah should have the chance to push in this wave. Okay, so we'll have to see what Teasmans does. Does he make a play here now that Gwen's low on mana, has no ult? I'd assume he'd be looking for something though. Okay. He is applying pressure. Rumble equalizer is down, so shouldn't be looking for a roam. Yeah. Okay. Items wise, bot lane they're looking about even. Although Ezreal does have a kill and therefore has the Sheena and the boots over just the moon covering boots, so but he does retear, so I guess Ezreal has a few less combat stats, but
yeah,
he's still probably pretty good because CDR and all that.
He's scaling.
Okay, so we're going to have to see what's going to happen. I'm not sure that the lead that the AsstroSmurfs have at the minute, which is 300 gold, is quite sufficient for what we were talking about before, where we feel like they need to get a lead to win. So we'll have to see that. We could be wrong. Maybe they can make game change a little bit later on.
I personally, I mean, obviously you say it. A lot of people look at the percentage of total gold as the stat of whether a team is in the lead or not. Personally, I more look at. I don't necessarily look at the percentage. I look at the size of the lead and the duration. So, like, as we're hitting 10 minutes, anything kind of under 2,000 gold, or anything under 1,500, I would say the game is still pretty close. If the gold lead was at like 2.5, touching 3k, maybe not. But Equalizer and the Arrow both go wide. Ares and AsstroSmurfs forced back.
Yep.
But yes, very, very close in the early stages. Big CS lead starting to grow here in the top end. We're going to see Jaina Proudmore getting engaged on, nearly taken out by the deck charge of Postmore Truck. Moist One going to get dove on, going to get taken down by the Galio. Postmore Truck probably going to follow his ADC. Not before Feb is able to answer back with one, but it's a double kill for the Galio.
Well, I guess there's a bit more of the aggression that we wanted to see. One, two is that
I need to sub you in, Ben. This is like watching your Galio.
No, I think my Galio's long washed up. But yeah, no, they're securing the dragon here, always good for them. Teasums is still hanging on. He's losing a little earlier than I would have anticipated, if I'm honest, but it's okay. Vi may be taught here. Galio already watching for the taunt. Big taunt and CC. Lovely. And they managed to get the damage as well.
Nice.
That was really good there to pick off the buy as well, and makes Kane have a little more progress towards his red form, as always. So far we're seeing a strong showing, I'd say, from...
Maybe that's Feb feeling the pressure of his perfect record versus Bishan in best of series coming under threat.
I think that's really the difference maker here. That's the only real stat line I think he's worried about, to be honest.
Yeah,
understandable.
100%.
It is the only one of value. Okay,
Yeah,
so
you
Yuna
can't hold
just
anything against him for that.
trading really aggressively here, like, and just winning. Really hard. Plates being claimed bot lane as well for the Cursed Tides bot lane, the Ashe.
Yeah, but the gold lead has expanded in AsstroSmurfs' favour. 1,000 currently is the lead.
They have, this series so far has been Moist One on the Ashe every single game, so clearly he's comfortable on it, and it does look it.
It really does.
Okay, Red Kane is acquired, by the way, and they're looking for a play on Wiggly. Wiggly's taunted.
Gonna find the taunt.
They didn't use the
Ares is
knockup,
hit.
though.
Feb
Well,
is
they may
back.
use
Gonna look.
close.
Ares.
Kane is spiked, though.
Equalizer
He's pretty
comes-
strong.
Equalizer comes down and arrow landed actually onto the Galio, so Galio are going to be taken out straight away. Feb, very low, Goodby very low, both trying to run away, but the knockup's going to come through. Both kills will be found, and Teasums roaming down from the top lane, going to take one of them. Yuna continuing on this split pushing trend, going to look to farm some plates.
That was really good from the team as a whole there, because as well we had the True Shot Barrage coming from Ezreal, which also provided some vital damage as well. A little bit of an embarrassing dredge line there from Post Nord Truck. Didn't quite find anything, but, you know, he's going for the play. It's what you like to see. So, AsstroSmurfs are pulling ahead here. Obviously, Yuno's taking over a little bit, as you said, the top lane with the plates. Once he spends that gold, he will probably be pretty lethal. But he has not spent it just yet.
Interesting. Bit of a lane swap coming in here for AsstroSmurfs, and I don't know if they're going to have called for this lane swap because of the way, because of how they think the matchups are going to go, or whether it's just because of where people were on the map at the time. But sending Teasums into the mid lane, into Wibbly, look at the damage just from the Electro Harpoons. Oh, going to look to engage though, diving on to the Rumble, flash away from the Stormcaller, but it's not going to be enough. Ares on a rampage, 4-0 on
Really?
the Kane.
Really good decisiveness from both of them there. Just pulling the trigger really quickly. Wibbly just didn't have a chance to react. Instantly stunned. And they just punish him for being that far up in the lane versus a Kane. Works out really, really well. Spana now potentially in a spot of trouble, but we see Kane and Volibear on the way, so even the Vi's coming to help, it should be fine.
Needle work though. Yuna committing to this fight, throwing down the needles, gonna have to turn tail and run, and really chunks the Galio low. If Ares and Teasums had been a couple of seconds further away, you have to fear that the Galio may have been taken down there.
Yeah. That was that's good though for, I think, for AsstroSmurfs still, because you know they still generate pressure, able to pick up camps and things. I think it's alright. They're doing pretty well, I think, playing for their own conditions so far. This Kane is monstrously fed. You know,
This Kane is what
now.
they need.
Yep. Exactly. And the Volibear's like reasonably strong, so probably can stay in the game a little bit longer against the Gwen. Although I'm not sure he actually has a lead because of the CS difference and the plates. We can have a little check here.
Let's have 200 gold. Yeah,
so
it's not
nothing,
really a lead, is it?
No, but nothing particularly meaningful the other way either. Which is, I think, better than what it's been the last few games quite often. So that's also a good thing, I think. We're just seeing like the bulk of the gold difference basically just being in this jungle matchup. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, Ares has the potential to go very, very much off this game. Gonna look now on towards the first side spot and finds enough to close on truck. The Nautilus under fire, misses the hook as the arrow will find the Kane, but it's just the disengage.
Right before that whole play, they the Custard's bot lane were waiting in that bush, and there was a very, very close dredge line that nearly hit Beckler, but he managed to react just in time and avoid it with the ground open. So that worked out really well for them. I think if he gets caught there, it's almost certainly a proper fight, and who knows which way that goes. Especially if the Rakan's caught right at the start. They do pick up the Drake though, so that's the second Drake, so it's all good. They want to be snowballing this game for sure.
Yeah, you don't want to let this game go too late. So forcing the pace.
Yeah.
It's another Chemtech Soul, second Chemtech Soul in a row.
Yeah, maybe not the most impactful, but probably for them actually works out reasonably well.
Yeah, the increased resistances when you drop below 50% HP aren't bad.
Yeah. Both teams just sort of posturing around this Herald. You're going to start it up, but unwilling to really commit to finishing it with the Kane, Galio, and Volibear around. And now AsstroSmurfs top lane have arrived. Ash has no Enchanted Crystal Arrow at the minute either, so can't really contribute from across the map just yet.
No, but this could allow Moist Swan to open up on the tower if they do choose to. Doesn't look like they're going to, but will force some golden XP to be lost to the wave. To the waves, to the towers, even. As Jaina Proudmore going to dive forward here onto Moist Swan. A lot of damage coming through the beautiful cleanse on the arrow.
Yeah. True Shot Barrage doesn't quite land, but there's also the Vi coming in, not getting anything.
Get the tower. First brick will fall to Cursed Tides.
It's true.
Keeps the gold lead relatively in check. Still 1,000, and will grow slightly here as Seasons knocks down top lane outer. Will he knock down top lane outer? Should do, right?
Who has the Herald?
Though, yeah. Nobody.
Did they not pick it up?
I don't know.
What's going on here? Where is this
Did it
Herald?
time out again? Did
I
someone
don't
let
know.
Herald time out?
I
Oh
don't know
yeah,
what's
he's in
going on.
trouble. Teleport's going to come through though. Can Yuna survive long enough?
Is
for Wiggly to
Galio
get
coming in though?
Yes, he can. Galio on the way. Hero's entrance going to come through. Yuna likely to go down, and now it's just Wibbly versus 3. Does have the equalizer coming up in a second, but can just walk himself away.
He's still positioned quite aggressively, but then he does have the...
Yeah, does have Vi Nautilus.
I think they're too far away though.
Equalizer. Yeah, Equalizer's thrown down, but it's going to be too little too late. Beezums collect another kill. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Jaina and Bekla almost find the Ashe.
First game might have been shaky, but AsstroSmurfs have really sort of found their stride in these last couple of games, it seems like. And they're much more playing for themselves, it feels like.
AsstroSmurfs have always struck me as a bit of a momentum team.
I think that's
And it's
fair.
like when they're on a good run, they will continue to play well and like get positive results. But if you like can get ahead of them and just remove their playmaking potential, they will always struggle to like. I don't know. I don't know how to word this without sounding like I'm trying to fire shots. I promise I'm not trying to fire shots. But it's like they know how to play League and they follow the standard play patterns of League of Legends, but they lack that like spark of creativity to pull a play out of nowhere when they're behind. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's the lack of creativity, but it's definitely easy
No, that might
for
be
it
a
to
bit
get.
harsh.
It's
That
definitely
might be a
easy
bit
for it
harsh,
to.
but-
It's definitely easy for it to get to you when you're behind.
Yeah.
And it feels like your
It might be a
options
bit
are
harsh.
closed.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. And it's difficult to find something that you think will work and actually make a play that pans out and turns the game around for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But with 3,500 gold in the green, AsstroSmurfs find themselves in a very, very good position to take the game and the series.
We're 45 seconds here, or 35 now, sorry, away from the dragon spawn. Cursed Tide's position sort of more towards the Baron slightly. One thing to note is Wibbly's teleport is down, so if they play both sides. Jaina Proudmore cleansing
the arrow.
again.
Yeah. Really, really well timed on these cleanses on the Ezreal. Even on, and on the Zyra in the previous game. All three of these games, to be fair.
Teasing's in a lot
Hullbreaker
of trouble.
completed. Or teasing.
They're looking for him, but he's backed right off, so he seems to be just about to safely.
He doesn't want to deal with any of this.
Those sides aren't starting up the dragon just yet though. Volibear has a flank now, looking for the collapse. Galio is able to back up the way, the direction that Cursed Tides are diving.
Yeah, massive engage coming through from Cursed Tide. Sapana finds the first kill on to the post-nord truck. Ashe falling as well. Ares collecting yet another kill. Yuna and Wibbly trying to pick up the pieces from this fight. Teasums says no, diving forward, securing the kill onto Yuna, securing the kill onto Wibbly. Fair, but the only survivor, and it is with a pixel of HP remaining.
What a fantastic bit of positioning and team fighting from AsstroSmurfs. They did a really, really good job there. Appealing to their allies and getting on the enemy, which completely outmaneuvered them. And yeah, they get the dragon and the Baron for it. Or they should do at least. And then at this point, they're on soul point, they've got Baron for pressure. They're in a really, really good position to take the series now.
Yeah, and you have to now start to wonder, is that team fight the straw that will break the camel's back and will carry AsstroSmurfs through to the next round of the upper bracket?
Yeah.
Really, really solid performance coming through from those guys in that fight. But Cursed Tides, they still have a chance. They still have an opportunity. The game is not yet done. There are a lot of towers still standing.
Yeah, I think still a little bit of time now before teams has his ult back, Spine has his ult back. Once those ults are back, they're going to want to look for more plays, I think. Keep being proactive. And keeping Cursed Tides down, trying to get some more objectives. I'm not sure how much now at this point Yuna can do actually, because even though Gwen is a scaling champion, Volibear with Hullbreaker, Divine Sundra as like a fair bit of sustain, it's nothing to sniff at. and might make it quite difficult for him to pin him down and apply pressure. And at that
I would not be
point,
surprised to see an Oblivion Orb picked up relatively soon for Yuna.
yeah, that's certainly true. That's definitely a possibility here. But
We do already see one for Wibbly.
Yeah. Okay, Kane looking potentially for something mid lane. Galio's a little bit caught, but he's buying plenty of time.
Very tanky.
Yeah, he's buying plenty of time. Teasm's TPing down. Kane's arrived. They can definitely just look for a play here. I'm surprised they didn't just go straight in.
Yeah, now they're going to look for the dive. Ares moving forward, looking onto Wibbly. Will find the knock up. Is going to dive on. Most Swan chunked out on the backside of that play as well. And the tower will fall. And it all seems to be falling apart here for Cursed Tides.
Yeah, it's looking very rough, that's for sure. Fiona's, I think, maybe going to just try and trade down a tower, get a little bit of bounty gold. I think that's about all we can do here. Not really much choice in what he can do. You know, I don't think his teacher would have done anything at all. So, that's right. Vibe maybe caught here with Kane and Bolivar.
Yeah, going to get knocked up, but does have support in the area. Wibbly in and around will find the harpoons for the slow as Yuna grabs an objective bounty on the top side. Going to go a very slight bit of the way towards helping his team back on to parity with a 7,000 gold deficit. As Yuna going to look for the fight here with the Galio diving forward, has the needlework, snipping away, and the needles not quite going to secure the kill as the flash away from the Galio, going to keep him alive at the last second.
Baron has now timed out for them. We've got 1 minute 45 until the dragon spawns. So not long to go. I'm expecting to see the team starting to set up on that. I don't really know how Cursed Tides can contest this. AsstroSmurfs have all their ults. It's going to be a difficult one, that's for sure, but they need to try something, I think.
The gold lead has slowly come down, is now under 7,000. So, you know, got to look at the positives here.
That's true. That's
for
true.
Cursed Tides.
You know, it's certainly starting to be formidable as well.
Yeah, he is. He may be 0-3-0, but 240 CS and tower gold. Definitely not one to be sniffed at.
Yeah. I'm kind of interested in seeing AsstroSmurfs send someone top lane here to D-push, maybe even a couple of people. D-push very quickly, because the wave that Yuna's pushing right now is going to need to be answered before this dragon, or Yuna's going to get a lot. I mean, Yuna's backing off anyway, so I guess it doesn't work out as getting punished too hard. No. But yeah,
that may get Yuna his...
top...
Is that going to get Yuna a death cap?
I think he's just gone for an easy dodge.
He already had that.
He's made... Oh, okay.
Reset.
Okay, maybe he's going for a second one or something. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. Second easy large rock acquired. Okay. I kind of want to see Sapana push up one more wave here. He has the TP. I think he can stay and push it, but he's worried that the Gwen's around. He has no flash now, so he can't really walk up to that wave very easily. But he's going for it anyway. I think he's decided that the Gwen must have backed off.
And it's these moments where if Yuna was with his team, they could have looked very, very quickly for a pick in the 5v4. But Yuna, also realizing he does have that teleport, is going to move back up into the top lane, going to try and continue that push. And we resume this game of cat and mouse. All of the members of AsstroSmurfs spotted out by the hook shot, so they're just going to start up the dragon. And now Sapana in the base, out towards the top lane. There is going to be no contest onto this dragon. It will be sold for AsstroSmurfs. I don't know if Sapana wants this fight. I mean, that was a very, very nice trade, but I don't know if he wants the elongated fight here versus the Gwen.
Definitely not, but Kane and Rakan are making their way up as quickly as they can to try and get something done here.
As is the Ezreal, and Yuna could be in some trouble. Feb in the area to try and offer some support. The Ghost even going to be popped, and Yuna gets away to safety.
Yep, I'm assuming they're going to just look for this Baron on spawn. Kind of makes sense to me. They've still got everything up. I don't see why they wouldn't. Yuna has no Ghost now, resetting. It's probably a pretty good time to start it, and I think, as you said earlier, they just need to keep the pressure on. They're stronger right now. Keep doing things while you're strong. They are being a little bit slow here, though. Jim Promo's going to be clearing out mid-wave while Galio resets as well. Volibear they're trying to collapse on at the minute. They should be starting this Baron now, please. You see them. Get on the Baron. Get on the Baron. Get off Raptors.
And is Teasum's going to get out scot-free here? No. Okay, Teasum's is going to go down. Or should go down. Okay, he is going to go down. Takes a bloody while with the Hull Breaker and the Stone Plate. But they do manage to find the Volibear. And now Gunnar can push. It's not particularly quick Baron.
No, and the wave is gradually coming. I think they're going to lose that bot inner tower. That's what it's looking like to me. Unless they TP for it. If they TP for it, they can save it now.
I respect the arrow to try and steal the Baron. But let's be real, it was never going to happen. This tower is going to fall, though.
It is a short cooldown, though, so no harm in aiming for it.
No, of course. Ooh, Ares. No, yeah. I was going to say, surely there's no way they win that, even if it's 2v1. But again, the gold lead continuing to drop. We are now below 6,000. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but, you know, Cursed Tides, they're steadying the ship.
They are. That's
Pardon the
definitely
pun.
true.
But they're steadying the ship.
Oh dear. Yeah, they're looking now to go a little bit, but not too much hopefully. Gwen is on Jaina Palmore. Jaina Palmore flashes over the wall. Can't make it caught.
Forcing the flash out of the Ezreal Beckler now. Having to run. He's going to get taken down. The Hero's Entrance going to come through though. Equalizer's going to land on, and it's a massive fight here for the side of Cursed Tides. 2 kills falling immediately. 3rd kill going to come through, and AsstroSmurfs running away with this one. Could they look to end the game off of this?
I don't know. They're pretty low and they've used quite a lot. I must say, impeccable game from Beckler though, you know, and gets away with his life just about as well.
Yeah.
It was really, really amazing. Like, he popped the ult there, knowing they were all going to dive on him. They all ran at him anyway, got charmed, and then Galio came in and was able to catch the Norton the Vi, I believe. Yeah. That was really like the catalyst of what turned around the game. Sparta eating forwards a little bit too far, but has the Zonias. Woodley now caught by Kane.
He is going to be on the slide. Woodley going to get dove, going to fall down. Voice Swan actually finds Beckler on the backside post. Sort of truck keeps Eddie Carry alive, but Ares diving forward the depth charge, going to keep the Ashe alive for another second before Jaina finds a mystic shot to take him down. Personal truck going now to fall. Wibbly going to fall. It is all on Yuna. Finds one. Can he find any more? No. The Gwen is not quite immune. Will fall, and that should be game.
That was a little bit too close to call. It felt like Galio going in there and nearly dying just baited his whole team into that fight that was a little bit too far, right at the edge of the limit of what they could manage. And yeah, they still managed to pull it out the bag just about and win the game. So
AsstroSmurfs.
Oh, the winners of
They
this
managed to pull the 2-1 win. Feb has now lost the series to Bishan in UNL.